Okay. So what we are going to plan in this or learn in this whole video is about love language. Now, what love language is, as it says, love language is the language of love. How we feel love or how we can make another human feel love. Conveying our love is what love language basically means. So in the early 90s, there was this whole research that came up with how we can see that people feel loved or make other feels loved. And there were five basics that were figured out. So these five basics would help you figure out where your love language falls. If you ask yourself, how do you feel loved? Some would be like, if you cook for me, I would feel loved. Take me out for shopping, I would feel loved. Spend quality time with me, I will feel loved. Be it taking me somewhere for a stroll or sitting in the quiet reading something would be feeling like loved. Also, these love languages are for people we take as ours, people we are trying to connect with, people we are trying to bond with. Once we start bonding with people, we also start having a comradeship, the primary forms of any connection, and love varies through all these forms. You can't just be like not having love if you are connecting with somebody. It's not about intimate relationship, but it is also about how you primarily connect with people. The primary form of love, if you ask me, I would say it's kindness. Where you are sharing kindness is a form of love, gradually going to consideration, then understanding, communicating, anything that would make another person connect with you, vulnerability. These are all components of love. So when these components fall in place, you will gradually start sharing love, and that would fall into the five categories. The first one we will take as spending quality time. Now, if we I give you an example that can go through all the five love languages, spending quality time is like cooking together. If I see food as a love language for a lot of people, but if you say food, it could be varying in all the five love languages. So, food makes you feel loved, but how? So, if it is quality time, cooking food together or eating food together can be a love language, your love language. Next is word of affirmation. So, word of affirmation is like if your loved one brings you food and you appreciate, oh, this is what I was looking for, you brought me the right thing, or I appreciate you cooking for me. When you appreciate what they are doing for you, where you validate or where you tell them that how much it means to you and make them feel valuable in return, is word of affirmation, or confirming to them that what they are doing holds value to you is a form of love language, which would fall into words of affirmation. Next would be physical touch. Now, when I feed somebody, like if you're feeding a child, if you're feeding a friend, if you're feeding your lover, whichever way, when you use touch as a love language. So, this would fall into love language of physical touch. So this is how food can be accommodated, or when you're cooking together, or you're touching, cuddling, and holding hands, or showing how to go around, playing in the kitchen. That could also be a physical touch ka love language that you show to your partner. So what I'm trying to say here is when we speak about love languages, they fall practically in five areas. First one was quality time, word of affirmation, physical touch, act of service. Act of service again is where you provide something as an act of service, where you fulfill a need of another individual. Let's say you are not able, you come home from a very tiring day and your partner has cooked food for you, or your mother has cooked food for you, or your roommate is cooking food for you. It's an act of service where they are doing something for you, and it makes you feel cherished, it makes you feel loved, it makes you feel comfortable at the end of the day. So cooking food will fall into act of service during that moment. And finally, we will go for the last love language in our count, that is receiving gift. So suddenly, if you have a surprise where you are taken to your favorite food joint, or somebody prepares the favorite food that you have for you and presents it to you, this would be receiving or giving gift. So that is how you feel loved. No, they were thinking about you, they were, planning something for you, they were trying to make you comfortable, happy, by showing that this is their love for you. And they cook you something that is favorite, or bring you something to eat that is favorite. So this is how food can fall in all the five categories of love language. Now, when we speak about this, we are also speaking that different relationships will have a different intensity of love with them. So you will feel love for a friend, and you might not be able to, include a lot of act of service or a lot of physical touch when you are talking with a friend. But if you are talking with your family members, like if you're talking with your sibling, your parent, or your partner, you might use more of a love language. So when you see different relationship, it is possible that you showcase your love at different intensity or through different love languages. When these relationships, and it is very obvious, a lot of people have the same love language at different intensity, while a lot of people have different love languages when showing love to different people in their life. Like if you are with an office colleague, or somebody you work with, or somebody you meet in the common area, that time it would be a different love language. You might just greet them, compliment them. That is word of affirmation. It was nice to meet you. And when are with your parent or your partner, and you say, I cherish you, I want you, is a completely different intensity of saying it. You may hug them, you may bring something for them. So the intensity may vary on different love languages, or the whole love language may vary out of the five that I mentioned before. Which also brings that we also have a different form when we are giving love and receiving love. Now, giving love is making another person in your life feel loved. So, if you are with somebody and you want to make them feel loved, you also have to understand what is their love language of receiving love. Because when you are giving love, the other person has to be open and willing to receive that love from you before they can feel it from you. So, when we speak of giving and receiving love, we are speaking about how we can completely allow ourselves to receive love, or give another person love so that they are open to receiving it. Here you have to sit and talk and even introspect on how you feel loved, and when you talk with somebody you are trying to love, on how they feel comfortable receiving love. Like we all have a sense where we showcase love. We all catch on to people, when they are bonding with somebody else. Especially we have friends who you suddenly pick up that, oh, you might be liking that human. or you are seeming interested in that human, because they catch on to how you are behaving around them. The language that you speak through your body language, through your actions, through your words towards that human is something that your friends, your family, and people around you are catching up to. So, this when happens, it might vary that the way you show love and the way another person receives love may be different. So, while you feel that you're loving somebody and they feeling love, there would be something that has to connect, and that is their language of receiving love